hello my friends. Welcome back. Find a comfortable place and imagine a small boy standing on a football field in Argentina. He is much smaller than the other children. His legs are thin, his face is quiet, but when the ball comes to him, everything changes. The small boy begins to run. The ball stays close to his feet. He moves past one player, then another, then another. People stop talking. They watch him in surprise. Who is this little boy? And how can he play like this? His name is Lionel Messi. And one day, the whole world will know his name. Today, we are going to follow Messi on an amazing journey. We will travel from the streets of Rosario to the great stadiums of Europe. We will see moments of happiness, moments of pain, and moments when it seemed that his biggest dream might never come true. This is not only a story about football, it is a story about family, courage, patience, and a quiet person who refused to stop believing. Lionel Andres Messi was born on June the 24th, 1987, in Rosario, a large city in Argentina. His family was not rich, but their home was full of love. His father, Jorge, worked in a factory. His mother, Celia, worked hard to care for the family. Lionel had two older brothers, Rodrigo and Matias, and a younger sister named Maria Sol. Everyone called him Leo. He was a quiet child. He did not speak a lot with strangers, but around his family, he smiled and played. And from a very young age, Leo loved one thing more than anything else. He loved football. Leo often played with his older brothers and their friends. The other boys were bigger, stronger, and faster. But Leo was not afraid. He followed the ball everywhere. He tried to take it from them. When he had the ball, he did not want to give it away. His brothers pushed him. They tried to stop him, but little Leo kept moving. There was one person who always believed in him, his grandmother, Celia. She took him to training. She watched him from the side of the field. She told the coaches to give him a chance. Some coaches looked at the tiny boy and were not sure. He seemed too small. But Celia continued asking. "Let him play," she said. "Just let him play." One day, a team needed another player. Leo was allowed to enter the game. At first, he stood quietly. Then the ball came to him. He began to run. He moved around the other children as if the ball was connected to his foot. The coaches were amazed. This little boy was different. When Leo scored a goal, he often looked toward his grandmother. He wanted to share the moment with her. Years later, after she was gone, Messi continued to remember her. When he scored important goals, he often lifted his hands and looked toward the sky. It was his quiet way of saying, "Thank you, I have not forgotten you." At the age of 7, Leo joined Newell's Old Boys, a football club in Rosario. The youth team was very successful. Leo scored many goals. He could change direction very quickly. He could move through small spaces, and he seemed to understand where the ball would go before anyone else did. People started talking about him. They said he had a special gift. Some young players wanted to be strong like famous footballers. Others wanted to kick the ball very hard, but Leo's gift was different. He understood the ball. He treated it like a friend. He did not fight against it. He moved with it. However, when Leo was about 10 years old, his family learned something worrying. Leo was not growing like other children. He was much shorter than boys of the same age. Doctors examined him. They discovered that his body did not make enough growth hormone. He needed regular medical treatment. The treatment was expensive. His family could not easily pay for it. At night, Leo had to receive small injections. This was difficult for a young boy, but he learned to do it. He wanted to become stronger. He wanted to grow. And most of all, he wanted to keep playing football. For a moment, his dream seemed to be moving farther away. Some football clubs were interested in him, but when they heard about the cost of his treatment, they became unsure. Leo continued to play, but nobody knew what would happen next. Then, news about the talented boy reached people in Spain. Football club Barcelona invited Leo for a trial. A trial is a special training session. It gives coaches a chance to watch a player before making a decision. Leo was only 13 years old. He traveled across the ocean with his father. Everything in Spain felt new. The buildings were different. The language sounded a little different. His family was far away, and Leo knew that this might be his only chance. He walked onto the training field. The coaches watched him carefully. Leo took the ball, and once again, everything changed. He moved quickly. He passed players who were bigger than him. He made difficult actions look simple. The Barcelona coaches understood that they were watching someone very special. The club agreed to bring him to Barcelona. It also agreed to help with his medical treatment. According to a famous story, the first agreement was written quickly on a paper napkin. The people at the club did not want to lose the boy while they waited for official papers. This should have been a completely happy moment. But the next part of Leo's journey was not easy. He had to leave Rosario. He had to leave his friends. He had to leave Newell's old boys. And for some time, part of his family remained in Argentina. Leo lived in a new country. He trained with new teammates, and he often felt lonely. At school, he was quiet. At training, he sometimes said very little. Some people thought he was unhappy. Others thought he was too shy. But when training began, the quiet boy became free again. He spoke through football. Every turn, every pass, and every goal said something. I am here. I belong here. Give me the ball. Leo worked through the youth teams at Barcelona. He grew stronger. He became faster. His treatment helped him grow, but he was still smaller than many players. He learned to use this as an advantage. Because he was close to the ground, he could change direction quickly. Defenders tried to push him away, but he often moved before they could touch him. In October 2004, Messi made his official league debut for Barcelona. He was 17 years old. He entered the field as a young substitute. The stadium was large, the lights were bright, and thousands of people were watching. A few months later, he scored his first goal for the main team. Ronaldinho, one of Barcelona's biggest stars, passed the ball to him. Messi lifted it gently over the goalkeeper. For a second, the stadium became quiet. Then the crowd celebrated. Ronaldinho carried the young Messi on his back. Both players were smiling. It was a beautiful picture. The famous star was carrying the quiet young player who might one day become even more famous. Messi did not become the best player in the world in one day. His early years included injuries. Sometimes his muscles caused problems. Sometimes he had to sit outside and watch his teammates play. This was frustrating, but he continued working. He learned how to care for his body. He trained carefully. He listened to doctors and coaches. He became more confident, and season after season, his football became more powerful. Under coach Pep Guardiola, Barcelona created one of the greatest teams in football history. Messi played with Xavi, Andres Iniesta, Carles Puyol, Sergio Busquets, and many other excellent players. They passed the ball quickly. They moved together. They trusted one another. Messi was often at the center of everything. He could score from close to the goal. He could score from far away. He could pass several defenders. He could create a goal for a teammate. And sometimes, he seemed to see a path that nobody else could see. In 2009, Barcelona won 3 major competitions in one season: the Spanish League, the Spanish Cup, and the Champions League. Messi scored in the Champions League final against Manchester United. He jumped into the air and headed the ball into the goal. It was unusual to see the small Messi score with his head. But that goal showed something important. He was not only talented, he was always learning. He could surprise people. Later that year, Messi won his first Ballon d'Or. This award is given to the best football player in the world. He would win it again, and again, and again. But awards were never the only thing he wanted. Messi wanted to play. He wanted to win with his team, and he wanted to make the people he loved proud. At Barcelona, Messi enjoyed success that most players can only imagine. He won league titles, Spanish Cups, and 4 Champions League titles. He became Barcelona's highest goal scorer. He scored hundreds of goals for the club, and many of them were unforgettable. There were goals after long runs, goals from free kicks, goals after beautiful passes, and goals that seemed impossible. Defenders knew what Messi wanted to do, but they still could not always stop him. One of his most famous goals came when he was still very young. He received the ball far from the goal. He ran past several players. He kept his balance. He moved around the goalkeeper. And he finished calmly. People compared the goal to one scored by Diego Maradona, Argentina's great football hero. But Messi's story with Argentina was more difficult. When he wore the blue and white shirt of his country, the pressure was enormous. People wanted him to become the next Maradona. They wanted him to win every game. They wanted him to carry the whole country. Messi loved Argentina, but some people said he did not show enough emotion. They said he played better for Barcelona. They questioned his heart. These words hurt him. He was a quiet person. He did not shout often. He did not give long, dramatic speeches. But inside, he cared deeply. In the 2014 World Cup, Messi led Argentina to the final. The final was against Germany. The match was close. Both teams had chances, but Germany scored late in extra time. Argentina lost. Messi walked past the World Cup trophy after the game. It was very close to him, but he could not lift it. He received the award for the best player of the tournament. Yet he did not smile. The award was important, but it was not the dream he wanted. More painful finals followed. Argentina lost the Copa America final in 2015. Then it lost another final in 2016. After the second loss, Messi felt broken. He had missed a penalty in the final shootout. He believed he had disappointed his country. In a moment of deep sadness, Messi said he was leaving the national team. Argentina was shocked. Fans filled the streets with messages. Children held signs asking him to return. Teammates asked him not to give up. Messi listened. He thought about his country. He thought about the dream that had followed him since childhood, and he returned. This decision was very important. His story with Argentina was not finished. There were more difficult matches, more criticism, and another disappointing World Cup in 2018. But Messi continued. During these years, his family gave him peace. Messi had known Antonella Roccuzzo since they were children in Rosario. Their story began long before the great stadiums and famous awards. They later married, and they had 3 sons, Tiago, Matteo, and Ciro. Messi was a global star, but at home, he was a husband and a father. His family reminded him of where he came from. They gave him strength when football became heavy. Then came the Copa America in 2021. The competition was played in Brazil. Argentina reached the final, once again. Messi was 1 match away from a major trophy with his country. The final was against Brazil. Brazil was strong, and the match was played in the famous Maracanã Stadium. Argentina scored through Angel Di Maria. Then the team defended its lead. When the final whistle came, Messi fell to the ground. His teammates ran toward him. They lifted him into the air. He smiled. He cried. After so many years of disappointment, Lionel Messi had finally won a major international trophy with Argentina. But one great dream still remained: the World Cup. In 2022, Messi traveled to Qatar with the Argentina team. Many people believed it might be his final World Cup. The first match brought a huge surprise. Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. The football world was shocked. Some people thought Argentina's dream was already ending. But inside the team, the players remained together. Messi spoke calmly. He told people to trust them. He said the team would not let them down. Argentina won its next match against Mexico. For more than an hour, the game was tense. Then Messi received the ball outside the penalty area. He hit a low shot into the corner of the goal. The stadium exploded with sound. The goal changed everything. Argentina began to move forward. It defeated Poland, Australia, the Netherlands, and Croatia. Messi scored goals. He created chances, and he led the team with a calm strength. In the semi-final against Croatia, Messi received the ball near the side of the field. A young defender named Joško Gvardiol tried to stop him. Messi changed speed, turned, slowed down, and moved again. He reached the goal line and passed the ball to Julian Alvarez, who scored. It was a perfect example of Messi's football. He did not need to be the fastest person on the field. He needed to understand the moment. He needed one small space, one change of direction, and one clear idea. Argentina reached the final. The opponent was France. The match became one of the most exciting World Cup finals ever played. Messi scored a penalty. Di Maria scored another goal. Argentina led by 2 goals. For a long time, it seemed that the dream was close. Then Kylian Mbappé scored twice for France in a very short time. The match was level. In extra time, Messi scored again, but France received another penalty. Mbappé scored again. After 120 minutes, the score was 3-3. The World Cup would be decided by penalties. Messi walked forward and took Argentina's first penalty. He did not hit the ball with great power. He placed it calmly into the goal. Other Argentine players scored too. Goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez made an important save. Then, Gonzalo Montiel scored the final penalty. Argentina were world champions. Messi stood with his arms open. His teammates ran across the field. Millions of people in Argentina cried and celebrated. Families hugged. Cars filled the streets. People sang through the night. At last, Messi lifted the World Cup. He held it close. He smiled at it. He kissed it. The small boy from Rosario had reached the dream that once seemed impossible. The victory changed how many people saw Messi. Before, they spoke about what he had not won. Now, They could simply celebrate what he had done. But perhaps the greatest part of his story was not the trophy itself. It was the long road toward it. Messi had lost finals. He had heard painful criticism. He had left the national team. He had returned. He had grown older. But he had continued. In 2021, Messi also faced a painful change at club level. Because of Barcelona's financial problems, he could not remain with the club. At his farewell, Messi cried. Barcelona had been his home since he was 13. He had spent most of his life there. He moved to Paris Saint-Germain in France. The change was not simple. He had to learn a new city, a new team, and a new style of football. Some moments were difficult, but he continued playing, and he won the French league with the club. In 2023, Messi began another chapter. He joined Inter Miami in the United States. Football fans filled stadiums to see him. Pink shirts with his name appeared everywhere. Children who had only watched him on screens could now see him play near their homes. In his first competition with Miami, Messi helped the club win the league's cup. It was the first major trophy in the club's history. Once again, he had entered a new place and changed the feeling around the team. Even as an older player, Messi continued to show his special understanding of football. He did not run every second. He watched, he waited, he studied the space around him. Then, at the right moment, he moved. That is one of the most interesting things about Lionel Messi. His greatness is not loud. It is often quiet. He watches before he acts. He does not need to look powerful. He lets the football speak for him. Today, people continue to discuss where Messi stands in football history. Some choose Pelé, some choose Maradona, some choose Cristiano Ronaldo. Every fan has a different opinion, but Messi's place among the greatest players is secure. He won many trophies. He broke many records. He received 8 Ballon d'Or awards. He helped Barcelona enjoy an extraordinary period. He helped Argentina win the Copa America, and he finally lifted the World Cup. But numbers do not tell the full story. The full story begins with a tiny boy in Rosario, a boy who needed expensive medical treatment, a boy who left his home at 13, a boy who often felt shy and lonely, a boy who lost painful finals, and a boy who continued walking forward. Messi teaches us that quiet people can be strong. He teaches us that being small does not mean being weak. He teaches us that failure does not have to be the end. Sometimes, failure is only one part of a longer journey. Your dream may take many years. People may doubt you. You may lose important moments. You may feel tired, but your story can continue. Remember the small boy on the field. The other children were bigger than him. The problem in front of him seemed enormous, but the ball came to his feet, and Leo began to move. He moved around one problem, then another, and he never stopped dreaming. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed the story of Lionel Messi. What person, place, or amazing true story would you like to hear about next? Please share your idea in the comments. And remember, every minute you listen to English is helping you grow. You are doing very well. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. Please like this story, subscribe to the channel, and join us again for another peaceful English journey.